Hi, this is Eric from Vegas Rocks Magazine. I'm backstage before the big CD release party with Lizzy Borden.
Hello.
Say hello to our listeners.
How are you?
First question I want to ask you, okay? This is the first CD in, if my math is correct, 11 years.
Yes.
So what has Lizzy Borden been doing for the last 11 years?
Touring the world. We've played so many amazing places like Russia, South Korea, South America, all across Europe, the UK. And we've just been spinning around touring. Haven't done too much in North America for quite a long time, which is something I'm going to fix on this album. But yeah, that's what we've been doing, and the touring never stopped, and it's always been a blast. And that's why I've been preoccupied with that and exploring new countries that we've never played before. So it's been a lot of fun, but I miss being a recording artist.
Absolutely.
And so having that piece of the puzzle back in my life is like, that creative outlet I've been missing. So, because I love being a performer, but I'm also love being a songwriter and producer. So, to be able to do this again, which I never thought I would, because when the industry collapsed, it just made no sense with the old structure.
Yeah.
But Metal Blade Records had fixed all that and created a new structure and made it make sense again. So I'm back to what I do.
You let me into my next question. You talk about production. I was lucky enough to get my copy of the CD and My Midnight Things from Metal Blade Records in the mail. First thing I wanted to do is pop it open and listen to it. And I was like, wow, the production on this CD is really good. I gotta look it up and see who produced this record. Surprisingly, I found out you did that. Now, is that something you've had a lot of experience with? Have you produced other Lizzy Borden records? Or
yeah, I mean, I've been involved in all of them. I've had to say, even if I hired a producer, I really was, hands-on. So but Joey Scott, drummer, and myself produced the last album, and then we did a band called Starwood. We produced that album as well. So it's we've done it before, but with this album it was a little different because I really wanted to go back to songwriting and songs, and I didn't want to write heavy metal songs. I wanted to write songs, and I didn't want. I wanted the song to be the star and the music to be the accompaniment. So that was a little challenging, because usually, if I write a guitar riff, then I kind of work my stuff around that. But I wrote the lyrics and melody lines first, and then I wrote the music. So I kind of did a reverse of the way almost everybody works. And that was a little different than the way I usually work. So, and I loved it. It really, I knew what kind of music, just based on the lyrics, had to be. So that's kind of how this album was different than some of the others.
And speaking of that, I mean, this album, to me, was different from some of the past work you've done. Really diverse group of songs, It almost had a love theme throughout it at times. Is that something you went for, or that just happened to come out of what you put together?
I usually pick a theme for each one. So like the last couple records, Deal with the Devil, I wrote about religion, and Appointment with Death, the last album, I wrote about death. In different ways. It wasn't obvious. And for this album, I wanted to do love, because I had written some songs about love, but I really wanted to explore that darker side of love. And so when it became time to writing lyrics, I had to kind of dive down and find out what I could do that hasn't already been done a million times. So I tried to figure out different ways, like Obsessed with You, that's a whole different kind of love. And, and some of the other songs, like Long May They Haunt Us, was a song about people that are no longer in your life, whether they passed on or they're just no longer in your life, and they haunt you every day, you think about them all the time, and you want to keep thinking about them, you don't ever want it to go away. So I wanted to write an anthem about that, and the people we've lost, and so there's different kinds of love. It's not the obvious things that most people write about. So I tried to dig down deep and try to find, to work under that umbrella.
So I know you're not completely new to Vegas, because I've seen you here at least one time before at the local clubs here. But how much experience have you had playing Vegas, or is this familiar territory to you?
Well, number one, I am a local now. I moved here.
Awesome. Good.
So,
glad to hear that.
I moved here last September.
You heard that first. Yes.
And I absolutely love it. I can't see myself ever leaving. I just love it here. And I never thought I would leave LA, but this is my town.
Absolutely. And more and more we hear of the musicians and celebrities are starting to move over this way.
There's a lot of action here, and that's what I gravitated to. I mean, Hollywood used to be non-stop, 7 days a week action, and that's what I love. And now this is the entertainment capital of the world, so it's really amazing.
Awesome.
So I love it. But yeah, we've played here throughout my whole career. You know, there was a place called Empire, a place called Pinky's, more recently Vamped, and of course we played House of Blues here a few times, and probably things I can't even think of. But throughout my career, we played here, you know, almost every tour. So yeah, I can't wait to play here again.
Awesome. One question I always wanted to ask you, you know, you're so known for your stage theatrics, you know, everybody associates you with that right away. In fact, this is the first time I've met you without your makeup,
yeah, right.
Things like that. So now I know what you look like.
Most people don't, which is odd.
I can hunt you down. But I always wanted to ask you, I understand, if I got my information correctly, in the past you worked with one of the creators from the movie Spawn.
Yes.
Is that true? What was that? What was that all about?
McFarlane. And he did the cover for an album I did called Deal with the Devil. And so it was amazing working with him because he's such a straightforward guy, and everything was just like clear cut. And I first, when I first started talking about the album, I told him what the concept was and that I was going to play Satan. And so he sent me a few sketches, and I thought they were gruesome and really over the top. But I really wanted something a little bit more that represented what I do on stage. So then he sent me what became the cover, and I was like, damn, you nailed it. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was a great experience.
I love the theatrics from that movie, you know, itself, and, you know, the makeup and the artistry that went into it. I thought that was a good fit for your project.
It was, yeah. I mean, even in the early days, the special effects guys that did the early Troll movie, I don't know if you remember that, in the early 80s, all the really low budget horror splatter flicks, they were right next to our rehearsal space. And I had hair out to here, and they were designing some of my effects, you know, because they loved the band, and they were working next door. We had to smell all their resin, so they made my effects for me, and they designed my whole costume around my hair. Which was such a cool thing. It's like designing my songs around my lyrics. They designed my costume around my hair, which was like such a great idea. Awesome. And that was all the early costumes that I wore back then. And so I've worked with a lot of movie special effects people over the years. And another guy named Morales Khan who did some of the stuff we did on the last few tours. Some of my masks and different staging stuff. He's a genius too. So we've done. I always try to cross between the movies and what I do on stage, the theatrics that we do, and they do it best. So I go to them, and they feed me.
All right. Speaking of lineups, I know you're with a new group of musicians now. How long have you been working with these guys? I know formerly you had a local Las Vegas boy here, or Dario playing guitar with you, who's moved on to Black Label Society, but how long have you been working with this group of musicians you're working with now?
I don't have a band right now. It's just Joey Scott on drums, and what I wanted to do was tailor fit musicians for this show. And, you know, because I'm building the whole Midnight Things show around this album, so I want to tailor fit guys. So I decided I wanted the album to come out first, and I want everyone to get used to the songs, and, you know, since it's been so long, I decided, you know, if I went on tour, I'd be playing songs no one's ever heard. So by the time I play these songs live, everyone will know those songs, and that's what I waited for. So I decided to wait until after the album's released. So 9 o'clock tonight, I start looking for musicians.
Perfect. That's awesome. So I want to ask you one more question. We just had the second annual Las Rages, the big outdoor festival, 2-day festival here in town. I know you've done a lot of open air festivals in the past. It seems to be all the rage these days. Everybody's talking about whether it's Rocklahoma, Las Rages is getting big here now, all over the country. Is that something in the future you want to do more of? You want to take your band to things like that and the cruises that are the big get-togethers, or do you prefer the little smaller, intimate shows?
No, the bigger the better for me. That's why we play mostly in Europe, because we get to play these gigantic festivals. Sometimes there's 90,000 people, and it's just insane. So you get to play to so many people every night in different festivals, and we've been doing that for quite a while. And we've also played one cruise, 70 tons cruise, which was really a lot of fun. I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually loved it. And but yeah, not so much in North America. So I really want to do that. I really want to. That's one of my things for this album. I wanted to concentrate on making sure I did a proper North American tour, and hopefully playing Las Regis or some of the new festivals that are happening in North America, because they're emulating what was happening in Europe for the last 20 years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So and it's starting to work. So I know Chicago open air has been doing really well, and
Houston has one.
Yeah. So finally they're catching up with Europe, but we've been over there and doing all those things. And we played Sweden Rock, Wacken, Bang Your Head, and all these big, amazing festivals, and for years now. And it's nothing like a whole giant field of people, and you can't see the end, and they're all reacting to what you're doing, and there's nothing better than that. So to do it in North America would be great. We played a couple of festivals here over the years. We played Rocklahoma, we played Rock in America, but I want to do it proper for this album and do a big show.
Awesome. Well, speaking of the album, I'm lucky enough to have one. The rest of Las Vegas is going to be introduced to it tonight. Looking forward to it, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.